Hey everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. I have an interesting update to share about one of Trump's Capitol terrorists. It's time for an episode of Where Are They Now?
Matthew Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
According to several news outlets, accused Capitol defendant Ryan Samsel told authorities that he physically attacked the Capitol barricades because he was threatened by Proud Boys leader Joe Biggs, who directed him to challenge the police. As you likely recall, Samsel is the 37-year-old indicted Pennsylvania resident. He has a long history of criminal acts dating back all the way to 2003, including numerous domestic violence convictions, not just accusations, but actual convictions. He has been accused and convicted of choking women until they became unconscious. That was numerous women. He's also the guy who held his then pregnant girlfriend underwater after they got in a fight at a party, and she feared that he was going to kill her. In fact, on January 6th, Samsel was out on parole for an assault that he allegedly committed in 2016. And he simultaneously had a warrant out for his arrest for the assault of allegedly another woman in 2019. Nevertheless, this guy who unsurprisingly supported the president with a history of assault against women decided that it was a great idea to attack the Capitol. You also may remember that he even knocked a female police officer down that day when he was violently shaking the barricades. He caused her to fall. She hit her head on the concrete steps, and she temporarily lost consciousness. She later passed out from her head injury when she was trying to arrest someone. And he was one of the people who basically led and started the attack. But in the moments leading up to that initial attack on the barricades, Samsel was seen on video with his arm around Biggs' shoulders. And the two men were having some sort of private conversation. Now, according to Samsel, during that conversation, Biggs encouraged him to push on the barricades. Samsel says that when he hesitated, though, Biggs flashed a gun that he had in his waistband, and then he questioned Samsel's manhood, and he repeated his demand again for Samsel to move to the front of the crowd and take on the police. Now, Biggs, as you may recall, is a 37-year-old Florida Proud Bigot organizer, known as the Proud Boys, who was once a correspondent, surprise, surprise, for Alex Jones's show, his white fright show, InfoWars. He's also one of the Proud Bigot leaders who encouraged their members to go to the Capitol on January 6th. And then he also told them to try to blend in by wearing just average clothing. He told them specifically not to wear their signature black and yellow colors. Biggs was indicted along with Samsel, or in addition to Samsel, I should say, back in March. He was hit with a long list of felonies and misdemeanors, including conspiracy, obstructing an official proceeding, and more. He's been denied pretrial release because the government believes that he's a flight risk, and they also say that he's a danger to the community. However, what they haven't said is anything in the charging documents about him carrying a weapon. So it's not clear if prosecutors don't believe Samsel or if they're just waiting and they're trying to corroborate his version of events before hitting Biggs with maybe a superseding indictment, including that weapons charge. Regardless, Biggs' own messages, on encrypted messaging apps, showed that he was riling up his followers. He was encouraging them to go to DC on January 6th. And he also said that it was going to be, quote, epic. But his attorneys deny Samsel's claims. They say, no, he was not carrying a weapon. And his attorneys called it a, quote, desperate, if wildly entertaining fake story. Or fake history, I should say, or false history. As for Samsel, This guy has to be incredibly insecure. So if all it takes is for someone to question his manhood, for him to take part in a violent assault on federal property while he's still on probation and wanted for another assault, seriously, I mean, this guy clearly has major issues he's never dealt with. If everyone in the world, or especially this country, could just get some counseling for their childhood trauma, think of how much better off the country would be. Seriously, so many wounded people that just can't get over it and take it out on everyone else. And I speak as someone who had a history of that, not physically, but emotionally. So I know of which I speak. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching and listening. Take care. I will talk with you soon. I'll keep you posted on all of this.